If you think you're going to be producing WebHelp projects for the federal government, you'll have to know about 508 compliance. Or if you want to ensure that your topics are going to work right and everything you see in a web browser is going to look the way you want it to, you might consider something else called W3C compliance. That's what we're going to talk about in this lesson. Now, 508 compliance might strip out a lot of the bells and whistles, like skins, for example, but you will know that your contents, your index, and your search areas are all going to be 508 compliant and they're going to work properly. With W3C compliance, sometimes what browsers will do if they see HTML code they don't really recognize is try to interpret it, and you could end up with gibberish. Sometimes you'll even crash the actual site. So in this case, using W3C compliance features here in WebHelp will allow you to avoid that kind of problem. So let's continue working with our How to Use LDC project here. And if we go to the Single Source Layouts pod, you'll see our primary layout is set to WebHelp. If we double-click WebHelp, we can actually save and generate our project to see what it looks like in a browser. So click View Result. It launches your default browser. You might see a protection warning across the top. You can click that and allow block content. Answer yes to let the file run. And then what you're going to see now is exactly the way the help project will look to those who are about to use it. So we have our contents. We can click our little books to expand the various sections. We can go to an index, for example. And it all looks nice with these little buttons and tabs and books and so on. So we'll close up our browser and talk about compliant help now. Now, instead of changing the settings here for our web help, our primary layout, it might be better to create a duplicate version of this that we can alter. So let's right-click web help and choose duplicate layout. Instead of copy of web help, let's call it compliant web help. And when we click OK, we now have a new layout here, which is really just, at this point, the exact same thing as our primary layout called WebHelp. But we're going to right-click Compliant WebHelp and go to Properties, because it's here where we can set the navigation to be both 508 and W3C compliant. Notice that the compliant topics for W3C checkbox is not checked off, so when we select that, we can ensure that they will be compliant. Same thing for section 508 compliant output. We can click that checkbox. You see a lot of the options are no longer available to us here. We will keep a table of contents, index, and search options. We'll leave the glossary out for now. We'll click Save and Generate, which again will give us an option to view the results. When we click View Result, it opens up our default browser again. We might see that warning across the top, but that's okay. Click and allow block content and answer yes again. But you can see it really looks a lot different. It's much plainer. If we look at the left-hand side in our navigation pane, we have links instead of fancy buttons, but it all works properly. We also have those books, and the topics are automatically expanded so we can go directly to them here in the navigation pane. So it may not look as nice, but we can rest assured that it's both 508 and W3C compliant. If you need more information on what those mean, there are websites for each. Just look up section508.gov. And if you want to investigate W3C compliance, you can also go to www.w3.org to find all about compliance there.